Hello everybody, this is White Wolf. Let me know if you can hear me. I'll talk loud enough for you to hear me, but let me know if there's any problems with the sound itself. And I wanted to talk about self-love and how self-love allows you to forgive, it allows you to let go, it allows you to love unconditionally, and it also allows you to be non-attached throughout your day-to-day meditative practice and waking up in the morning and wanting to live for something, wanting to live for life for itself, and wanting to show up to your life as if you're meant to be there. And I want you to know that when you love yourself, you're able to love profoundly, and you're able to love other people and to accept other people without any personal bias. So you're separating yourself from your own personal biases, and you're having true acceptance, because you have to accept yourself in order to control yourself. In order to go with the flow of God's source energy, you have to recognize who you are, and you have to recognize that there's always something to live for, that every day that you wake up in the morning is another shot of redemption. Every day that you wake up in the morning, you're here to grow, you're here to expand, you're here to heal, and self-love is healing, and self-care is working on yourself and meditating upon yourself and imprinting that consciousness onto yourself, which is the higher self. So you allow yourself to heal as much as you love yourself, because that's you transversing from fourth density to fifth density, and then you become more selfless, more service to others. But a lot of the times we can have ourselves be in such accelerated state of consciousness where we have our foot on the gas, and sometimes you need to recognize that you need to love yourself and take time for yourself. Go take a trip. Give yourself that moment of zen throughout the day. Give yourself that moment of self-love, and it'll allow you to love deeply, profoundly. And I'm here to let you know that love comes very softly. It doesn't come abruptly. It comes very softly. We think that it comes abruptly. We receive and be more receptive and observe the observer observing, and have true, wholehearted acceptance within our life. We allow ourselves to be the magician of our life, because we're allowing ourselves to just snap our fingers and be there, and be in that transcendence, and be in that state of mind, that state of body, that state of spirit. And we allow ourselves to be the master of optical illusions. So we allow ourselves to generate another illusion of love, another illusion of sensations, experiences, and relationships, and we're finally in agreement with who we really are. We're finally in agreement with God, because we're allowing ourselves to be in a state of agreement, because we're allowing ourselves to not be so negative, and we're allowing ourselves to balance that out with positivity. And it's okay to love yourself. It's not selfish to love yourself. It's not selfish to empower yourself. And it's not selfish to be confident about yourself. Now, but when we do it in a smug and arrogant way, and we don't do it in a loving way, and we don't do it in a way of truth, and we don't align it with the Spirit, and we don't align it with truth, and we don't align it with empowerment and sincerity, it is actually not allowing us to tap into sense and sensibility, and not allowing us to be sincere in the way that we say things, in the way that we carry ourselves, in the way that we want to love others in such an unconditional way. And we're being transparent with our energy, because we're tapping into transcendence, but we're also just being transparent by the way that we're carrying ourselves, because we're being led by our heart and not by the unconscious mind. Because you're starting to follow your heart, because the heart is the first brain. Believe it or not, it actually functions a lot better than your brain does. We think that the brain allows us to do all of our bodily functions, but what is the bodily function being performed before we do it? What is the thought? What is the action before it really happens? It's our consciousness. So we allow ourselves to see that when we have self-love within ourselves, and it's not a gimmick, and it's not something that we just say, but we do it, and we do it as if nobody is watching. Like we're not even gonna get a reward for it, but we do it because it's the most aligned, empowered, and truthful thing to do at that right moment, that precise moment. So you have a level of precision when you're being led by your self-love. When you allow yourself to be led by that love of the self and that acceptance of the self, and you allow yourself to transcend the biases of the unconscious self, which is the unconscious mind, by you being led by your heart. So I had someone a long time ago tell me that I had to be led by my heart because that allows you to follow that line of perception, that direct line to the Oracle of Love, Light, and Wisdom, and allows you to have a sense of direction. And it's so meaningful when you are more loving and you're more joyful, but also you're recognizing, because I went out into the world today, and I feel like a lot of people need hope, a lot of people need justice, a lot of people need something to go on. They need redemption. They need that sense of healing. They need that sense of connection to people, because I felt the dense and heaviness of this world, and it was so negative. And it was because people always see things as black and white. They don't see the gray area here. They don't see the transparency here. They don't see what lies beneath here. And we have to see through that veil of amnesia. We have to allow ourselves that every day is a new timeline. Every day is another way that we can love again, that we can be again, that we can try at this again, that we can allow our triggers to be known, we can allow our false emotions to be known, we can allow our biases to be out at the forefront, and we can allow them to be integrated and also accepting and embracing our dark aspects. So we're embracing more and more of our masculine and feminine aspects with self-love, with self-care. And you actually have more profound integrity, because now that you love yourself and you want to be of service to people, you understand that you've had a journey here, that you have wisdom and you have maturity. So you have so much maturity within your soul because there has to be such a vastness of experiences, expression, lessons, life progressions, past life progressions, all coalescing inside of one and marinating within that parallelness of the omnipresence of God. When we allow ourselves to do that, we allow ourselves to decrypt the cryptid. So not everything is so cryptid, it's just feeling like as if everything is a source code and we're just unraveling the mystery here. Because it doesn't allow us to have a seeking impulse when there's not mystery. It doesn't allow us to really have the search. It doesn't allow us to have the journey, because if all of this was easy, if spirituality was easy, everybody would do it. Every single person would do it and they would succeed. But it's not built that way because of free will. Because if everybody was just handed everything, we would destroy it with our egos. We would destroy it by the very fact of our egos, because God cannot just give you everything until you are ready to handle it. Because I know that I wouldn't be giving this message 3 years ago if I didn't go through all the experiences that I went through the relationship that I have with my girlfriend, and having a puppy now, and having more responsibilities, and having more levels of ascension, and being able to move the energy at a vast rate than I was before. But this all happens because it allows us to see that we all start like we're a child again, to tap into the inner child again. We all start over when we awaken. So we're all having a redo, we're all having a start again, we're all having a new-found reality that we're embarking on by implementing boundaries, by allowing ourselves to heal and to cut all the cords that are binding us to past lives, to people, to family, to tradition, all of this other unconscious stuff that we subject ourselves to. And then we allow ourselves to see that there's so much love here for us to be angry, for us to be in conflict, for us to not implement those boundaries and to be seen. Self-love is to be seen for who you are and to be respected for who you are and to resonate within the energetic field of who you are. So you're realizing, what is my energetic field? Where am I supposed to be? Where am I supposed to go? And then you allow yourself to have a direct line to all of the new things that are in your reality. So all of your past trauma. And when we tap into the soul's love, what does soul's love mean? Soul's love means that anything from your past or your trauma or your past lives has no effect, nothing to do with the present aligned future moment. What does that mean? It means that you are in the future right now. You are the past, future, present happening simultaneously. So I'm here to tell you all that we're all tapping into soul love when we're tapping into our self-love and our self-care. We're erasing all of the distortion, all of the darkness. We have a dark night of the soul so that we can find the light again, right? At least a lot of us do. So I'm in a hat, I'm in a pair of jeans and boots. That's how I express myself as spirituality. Now, a lot of people, what they're seeing me do right now, they'll say that's not spiritual. That's not this. Oh, you don't meditate for 7 hours. Oh, you don't sit under a bonsai tree for 30 years to wait to be enlightened. Well, I'm sorry, I don't want to do that. But I want you guys to express yourself the way that you see fit, because you are your own kind of beautiful, and you're the same kind of beautiful as me. I'm just a guy just like any of you. So I'm not anyone special. So I'm just like anybody else, because the other night I had my own wave of healing. And I didn't go live last night because I was so tired after that I had to regather myself and recharge and give myself a day at least to not do my spirituality online. Because when we're doing our lives here, we're expanding energy. Even when we're talking, we're channeling as we're talking. So, but it's protecting your energy with your psychic protection and realizing that your energy is your energy, and you don't want your energy to be stolen by anybody else. That's why we have to guard our hearts, and we have to guard ourselves and set boundaries and put up that energetic force field of protection to allow ourselves to be that energy only your energy. So we're here to get rid of those spiritual vampires. We're here to get rid of all of that, because that's not loving. And being judgmental towards yourself and being in disagreement with yourself is not loving yourself. And being judgeful of others because they're not like you is not loving yourself either. You're actually hurting yourself more, or holding on to grudges, or unwilling to forgive, or unwilling to get out of a spirit of being condemned, or feeling like you can't get past a certain thing, or feeling like that this is it. I'm at this certain age, or I'm too short or too fat or anything like that. You don't have to look like Chris Hemsworth to be accepted. You don't have to look like that guy. He looks ridiculous anyway. The way he's like shredded, it's ridiculous. But be you. Be the divine in your own way, and love in your own way, and be of service in your own way. Because we're all here to be an individuated creation. We're not here to live anybody else's lives. And just because someone has a negative perception through their eyes, you're not living through their eyes. You're not living through someone else's eyes. You're living through the eyes of God. You're living through the eyes of Source. That's what you're living through. You're living through the eyes of the Source of the Oracle of Loveline Wisdom. That's who you're living for. That's what you're running your own race. You're playing golf against yourself in a sense. That's what spirituality is like. You're playing golf. You have to have precise movement, precise action, aligned emotions, aligned thoughts, and also just different causes that generate different effects. And also just understanding that it's a choice to love yourself today. It's a choice to meditate. It's a choice to take time for yourself, or to even walk away from spirituality just for a little bit so that you can get that healing. So you can come back to yourself and recharge your batteries and really embrace the suffering so much to the point where you're not identified with the suffering anymore. And even identifying with it to the point where you say it over and over and over, to the point where it sounds ridiculous, redundant, and irrelevant. So when we allow ourselves to really heal through that trauma, through that distortion, through all the things that we go through in life, just allow yourself to accept your empathic ways. But just know you don't have to go at this alone, and you've never been alone. You've been watched by the divine your entire life. That's called grace. God always gives us chances. I do believe God source energy in our spirituality and our psychic ways. He gives us grace all the time. He gives us another way. He gives us another set of experiences. He gives us another set of relationships. He gives us another way that we can go, so he lets us know that we're not going at this alone. And I'm here to tell you that none of you are alone. And everybody on this feed right now should love the hell out of themselves. Love themselves to the point where it's so ridiculous that you just shower yourself with that Shekinah glory of God's source energy. And to accept that person that's looking back at you in the mirror, because you never really see a reflection of yourself. But one of the greatest things that my girlfriend showed me, because she was my teacher, and 3 years ago, basically, when we started our relationship. And one of the hardest things, and it made me bawl my eyes out, was looking at that person in the mirror and accepting that person. That's a hard thing to do. Look at that person and say that you accept yourself, that you love yourself, that from this moment on, I am a changed man or woman. And you look at that person and you have to accept that person, because that's what God, source energy, gave you. That's what the divine gave you. You have to work with the cards that you're dealt and know that you have a royal flush. Know that you have a full deck. Know that the decks are being cleared on your behalf so that it can initiate more states of mind, body, and spirit within your life. So, I think it's just allowing yourself to be that deep breath in and that deep breath out, to be the exhalation, to live at a place of rest and know that there's always a time for peace. And there's always a time of rejoicing. And there's always a time to finally express the oracle of Loveline Wisdom in your own unique, divine way. Because you become the way itself. You don't find a way. You find a way, but you become the way, and you allow everything else to get out of your way. You allow yourself to break free from the matrix, and you allow yourself to shatter the hourglass, in a sense. And you allow yourself to be the master of optical illusions. You allow yourself to be that magician. You allow yourself to be magical and use that star blast magic. And you have to feel as if you can live your life by, it's there. I want what I want right now. I am the source of all things. Everything I touch turns to gold. And it's funny because with money, with everything, with healing, it's all energy. Self-love is energy. We think that it's concepts. We think that it's spiritual explanations. We feel like it's so complex, but it's really simple. It's all energy. It's all energetically, quantumly, metaphysically driven. That's what it is. So it allows yourself to be free. It allows yourself to be free once again. To be who you want to be. Not to be what someone else wants you to be. But you get to decide. You're in the driver's seat. You're not being controlled or manipulated by anything anymore. Society, programming, anything. That's what self-love is all about. It's about disconnecting from the matrix and finally immersing yourself within that absolute reality. So we're also going to be doing some healing energy, everybody, because I wanted to do this because I used to be a pessimist. I used to be a negative Nancy or a Debbie Downer. I used to be very negative about myself. And then when I found spirituality, I never found something in my life that I really loved that I wanted to stick with. And when I found meditation and I found my girlfriend and I found spirituality, it primed the seeking impulse to want to heal myself. And I started with healing energy because I wanted a sense of worthiness. Self-love is trying to get that healing and trying to get that worthiness and knowing that you are worthwhile and that God did not make a mistake when He made you. God Source Energy did not make a mistake when He wanted to exist, when He wanted to manifest things. And how you see God is how you see God. You can see God as a woman. You can see God as an extraterrestrial. It is not one way, but always, all paths lead to God. So, and I also wanted to do something different tonight by doing a live standing up, because I usually do it sitting down. So I'm just adjusting my camera here, but we're going to be doing Stupa Mudra energy. This is what the Buddhists use. This is healing energy. Anybody who would like to receive this healing energy right now. Also, I have a $50 special for psychic readings, healings, activation codes, downloads. I have links at the bottom there in the comment section if you would like to book a private session. So we're going to do some healing energy. This is what the Buddhists use. This is Stupa Mudra energy. You can watch what I'm doing. You can focus on an object. You can lay down. Whatever makes you comfortable about being who you are as a spiritual entity of love and light. And also accept this healing before you receive the healing itself. Break free from the matrix now. Accept these galactic codes. Light codes are being sent out, and allow your DNA to be reprogrammed in a sense. Allow yourself to be that big, deep breath in. And that big breath out. From this moment on with this healing energy, allow yourself to love yourself fully, to love with all of your heart, to love with unconditionality, and to be transparent and to be not attached to anything that does not bring you that sense of love. Allow yourself to let go. Allow yourself to be sensitive and tap into that divine energy from Mother Gaia and ground yourself into Mother Gaia. Ground in the roots. Have a chakra recalibration. Allow the magic to flow through you. Allow your divine alchemy to shine through your innermost being. Allow the Shekinah glory of God's Source energy to give you a heart activation. Allow yourself to download Metatron's cube. And tap into all the sacred geometry. Allow yourself to be the pyramid of consciousness, meaning that you always continue to have a grand rising. That you're continuous with your energy, that you're continuous with your flow, and that you're consistent by finding your worthiness. Once again, know that you're worthwhile. Know that the doors of heaven are laid at your feet. That we're here to be leaders. We're here to breathe this love, this truth, and this empowerment back to others, so that we can allow ourselves to heal the planet, to not be led by the unconscious, but to be led by consciousness itself. From this moment on, that you will always find a reason to live, a reason to laugh, a reason to love. Allow yourself to be that sacred flame. And allow yourself to be the way. And that you'll always find your way back. My 7 dragons are here, the Intergalactic Council, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Shmuel, Zadkiel, Mother Mary, Saint Germain, Grandmother and the tribal women are helping with this healing. Necklaces are being brought out. fire, wind, water, light, letters, talisman, crowns, and love. Express yourself in the ways of the Spirit, the truth of the Spirit, and emulate the blessing. Love yourself, find your worthiness, heal, and then allow others to heal themselves, to find their worthiness, and unite as consciousness. But be free, be open, be vulnerable, be sensitive, be harmonious, and let go of the mind and follow your hearts. And embrace the soul. As the transmission is reaching its end, allow a violet ray a ninth dimensional light go into the causal chakra. And allow the prophet Elijah, the prophet Paul, and Jesus to help you with that. Take one last deep breath. And so it is. Thank you guys for tuning in to that healing energy. Also, just for tuning into this live. And if you hear some tapping on the screen, I'm tapping some stuff on the screen. And also just wanted to let you guys know that if you enjoyed this live feed and you would like to book a private session, I do have a $50 special. So if you would like to take that on, feel free to do so. Feel free to donate. Feel free to share out. This is White Wolf. Thank you so much for tuning into the healing energy and the message itself. And I really appreciate you guys and also watching my content. And I want nothing more than people just to love themselves and to be okay in their divinity, to be okay in their divine skin, and to be comfortable about it. And not being afraid to live it, not being afraid to embrace it, because it is beautiful. It is beautiful to go through an awakening. It is beautiful to know that you're not alone. It is beautiful to know that you're blessed and healthy and whole and prosperous and amazing in the ways of the Spirit. And also just being able to impart that blessing onto others is the greatest honor that you can ever have in life. So I want to thank you guys. Also, feel free to take on the $50 special. If you would like a 1-hour session with me, if you need healing energy, if you have psychic readings and things of that nature, this is White Wolf. Thank you so much. Signing off, and so it is. I will put those links up. So thank you guys for tuning in. I go live almost like every day, but when I feel like I don't want to do it, I do it when I'm led to do it. I do it when a message comes through. I do it when it feels pure and it feels like the most aligned thing to do. So I want to thank you guys. God bless, and namaste.